Hi, Team Fit and Fierce. I want to go over the workbook and textbook with you a little bit today. We had talked last week about doing lessons 1 and 2 of living a longer, healthier life, and that corresponds with chapters 1 and 2 in your Dr. A's Habits of Health textbook. So, first, let's talk about that a little bit. In chapter 1 of the textbook, it talks about how our bodies are made to run very efficiently with efficient fuel and to store energy dense foods, such as meat and things like that, so that we can keep that fat on our body for emergencies if we don't get it later. 10,000 years ago, Dr. Anderson says that we were the type of people that we had berries and things like that for the most part. Once in a while, we got maybe some meat, and so then it held onto our bodies for a long period of time until we got our next energy dense food like meat. So that's kind of how our bodies work. But how our food works today is that all of our food is super energy dense, which means they are high in calories, high in fat, and just not good for us to have that much always in storage. And so that's why we then gain weight. All of those extra calories, fats, sugar, salts, all of those things in our bodies are foreign, and so it's sabotaging our health. So our insulin pump is on constantly, which is causing inflammation inside of our bodies. The extra calories are being stored as fat. And so we're basically just battling the food industry sometimes, and so that's why he entitles the chapter "It's Not Your Fault." And at first I thought, it's not my fault that I put food in my mouth. It's not our fault that the foods are so energy dense nowadays, and our world is such that we sit at a computer and we drive a car and we're not walking as much, we're not hunting for food, we're not as active as we're made to be. So I think that is part of the reason why our culture today, we're just gaining a lot more weight than ever before. We have so much technology that all we have to do is push a button most of the times and things are done for us. In chapter 2, it talks about how to create optimal health, and it kind of explains how the rest of the book is going to work for us. It talks about being in a state of non-sickness and even disease, and then wanting to get out of those unhealthy habits and go toward a state of health, and how we can choose that path. The habits of health overview include habits of healthy eating, moving your body, strategic behavioral habits, so really changing our behaviors so our minds can match our body's habits, the habit of support through vitamins, the habit of reducing dangerous inflammation, through turning that insulin pump off and eliminating a lot of the sugars and processed flours and all of those really inflammatory foods that are foreign. There should not be in our bodies. Habits of good sleep, creating a positive environment. I love that. Creating people around us that will lift us up, but also just within our homes, making them stress-free, making them a place of joy. And then the habits of support. Again, having a support system through your spouse, your family, your friends, us as a group, me as your coach, however you choose to have that support. So that is what chapters 1 and 2 look like, and it goes through the phases of optimal health and beyond. Now let's go into the workbook a little bit. In lesson 1, it's called Your Changing World. Leave behind the world of obesity for one of vibrant, long-lasting health. I really like that. So it goes over that 10,000 years ago kind of body again, but it wants us to look at our personal energy balance today. And I really like this because I started this a year ago, and so I was looking at my answers from a year ago and then my answers today, and I like how they've changed for the most part. It asks you to list the food and drink that you ingested today. It's just a good exercise for you to see exactly what you've done as a food journal. And then it wants you to also write down next to it the energy that you expended. So for instance, doing housework, vacuuming, cleaning the kitchen, cleaning the bedrooms, watering the garden, playing with the kids and lifting them and running around with them, jumping on the trampoline, those kinds of things. And then it could also be official exercise. So count all of those activities that you do in your day, and then list the food. And it can be kind of eye-opening. A year ago, listen to what I put: a bowl of Life cereal and skim milk, string cheese, peanut butter and jelly on multigrain bread, because I thought that that was a good choice. Tootsie Rolls, I had 3. I was quite the candy addict. Graham crackers, I had 2. A peanut bar, and then for dinner we had tacos with ground beef, lettuce, tomato, salsa, sour cream, cheese. That day I had 2 cups of coffee with creamer, and I only had 3 glasses of water. That's how little water I used to drink. So I had had 24 ounces of water in that day, and 1 glass was juice. But when I do that lesson today, it includes a bowl of Metafast cereal with unsweetened almond milk, a yogurt, apples with PB2, a salad with cottage cheese, a lean and green dinner, a maintenance bar for a snack, and now I drink tea, and I drink it unsweetened, and that's been fabulous. And I drink 3 liters of water, so that's really good. Going on to looking at how our muscles shrink and our fat accumulates as we get older. As we get older, it gets harder and harder. We expend about 1,400 calories less when we're 40 than when we are 20. So it's amazing how much less energy and food that we need. So maybe if you were able to eat a lot when you were 20, you basically can eat exactly half of that. Now we can only have about 1,400 calories in our day instead of 2,800 calories. Okay, I'm on page 6 now. Obesogenic versus leptogenic. This exercise was explained a little oddly. So instead of just putting a star next to good choices and an X next to poor choices that lead to disease, I changed that myself, and I just put a star next to everything that I did, whether it was an obesogenic or a leptogenic choice. And a leptogenic choice is one that is a healthy choice. An obesogenic choice is one that's going to make us unhealthy or obese. So for instance, I put a star next to eating substantial breakfast every morning. I've always done that. All my life I love breakfast. Using the stairs when possible, parking far away, choosing salad with chicken instead of a hamburger, getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Again, I've always done that too. I love sleep. Eating fish at least 2 to 3 times a week. That's something that I've learned this year. I did not used to do that. Eating more fruits and vegetables, the same. I didn't used to do that. Drinking at least 8 glasses of water a day. That's been a new change this year. Choosing healthy-minded friends. That's definitely been something that's happened this year just because of this group. This is fantastic. I love being around people who feel the same way as me. Eating lots of protein in the form of meat. I think we've always done that here as a family. Monitoring your weight weekly. I didn't even used to have a scale. I never monitored that at all. So it's nice to at least know where I am so that I can keep control of it. And planning ahead for your body's daily fuel. I never did that. I used to just starve to death, and I'd get home and eat everything in sight because I was so hungry. And then eating 5 to 6 small low-fat meals a day. That's a new change. So all of those things have only occurred this year. I did not used to do most of those things. Okay, so at the bottom of page 7, what new healthy habits do you intend to adopt as you work towards your goal of optimal health? I need to be exercising more. My goal, I do pretty well with the 100 ounces of water, but it is a goal still to get it all in. And then planning ahead for trips out of the house with the water bottle. I'm usually pretty good with that, but sometimes I forget, and I'm like, how did I forget that? And then on page 8, it asks, what unhealthy habits do you want to leave behind? For the most part, I've left behind having coffee every day. I will have one as a treat if I'm out and about, and I haven't had one in a while, and I think that I can do that. Making excuses for not exercising, I still need to work on that. I no longer have a candy addiction. I'm so proud of that. And processed sugar and white grains, I don't even crave that stuff anymore. And that was what I had written for a year ago. Okay, lesson 2. The power of habits. Adopt new habits of health to build a lifetime of vitality. I really like this line. The tenaciousness with which we hold onto behaviors depends on the thickness of the cable we have woven and the strength of our desire to change. We're not going to change if we don't make the decision that that's what we want. It says, in this workbook, we focus on creating new healthy habits rather than wasting energy trying to get rid of things we don't want. you'll find that over time, your old habits, which are no longer serving you, will lose their power. So just start doing the positive, and the negative ones will just fall by the wayside. So just take that step into faith and start. Okay, at the bottom of page 10, it says list 5 lifestyle events you would really love to do. I put things like going water skiing, aerobics and dance classes, trail running, riding horses, riding bikes as a family. You know what? We do all those things. So they're not things that I'm reaching for at this point. We are able to do all of those things. Other things like water skiing, I'm not around a lake or anything right now, but I'm excited for that as we get back to the States. Okay, and then they ask the question on page 11, do your current behaviors support or prevent your ability to fulfill your dreams? So think about that. If I wanted to run a full marathon, what did I put? Which I'm not sure I even want to do. I run half marathons. I'm not sure I want to run a full marathon. But in my current habits, if I started training, I could do. Yes. I could do all these things now. Aerobics, if I had a little bit more time, I could do classes on base. I live 30 minutes from base, so aerobics really has not been something that I've been doing lately, but I really enjoy them. What sorts of habits do you rely on when you're upset, stressed, depressed, angry, sad, bored, tired, or overworked? I put before that I would sleep, and I don't even think about taking a nap anymore. It does not even cross my mind. I'm so proud of myself for that. I pray a lot, go for a walk. I do tend to get on the computer more than I should. If I'm bored, I sit down at the computer instead of playing with my kids. That's what I need to be doing. I do like to talk to friends and go out for coffee when I need to get away. On page 12, I liked this paragraph here. As a critical care physician, I've stood at the bedside of many people facing death. Believe me, at those moments, no one is thinking about the size of their portfolio or what kind of car they drive. Life is a journey that's hard to enjoy without health. To sacrifice our health for a lifestyle that makes us overworked and overstressed just does not make sense. So I ask you now, and I'll ask you again, if you had had a choice to live in optimal health, would you take it? And I would really hope that all of you would say yes. Okay, one more page of things that we wrote. What automatic routines or habits cause you to graze mindlessly, even when you're not hungry? Giving snacks to the kids was mine before, and I didn't write anything. I think I'd probably sit still. When I'm sitting still, I don't feel like I graze much anymore. But before, it was really when I was giving snacks to the kids, I was eating them as well. List 10 daily choices that support your health right now. I always eat breakfast. I have vegetables at every dinner. I play with my kids, and I lift and run around with them and try to stay active through my day like that. Okay, so let's look at exactly how we're going to help you change your conditioning and lay down a new set of healthy tracks. Number 1 was identify the foundational choices that support optimal health and implement a plan to incorporate them into your daily choices. You can read the rest, but really just these lessons were pretty quick. It only took me about 15 minutes or so to go through them and write in some new answers. If you're starting from brand new and you haven't written in any answers from before, last time you did the workbook, then it might take you a little longer, but still it's a pretty quick activity. So I really just encourage you to go through that. And also at the bottom of this message in the comment section, please leave comments. Please tell me what some of the things that you were writing in, or maybe some revelations that you've had from doing this activity. And let's just encourage each other. And I just really thank you that you are part of my group and that you're participating. Okay, I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks. Bye.